This one I like, the best ideas win. That's another myth, okay? Yes, you know, if I have the best idea, I'm gonna be rich, okay? Well, let me put you two very simple examples, and maybe the reasons why this maybe doesn't work that well. You know the keyboard, you know the keyboard that we have right now. After you know the typewriter led way to the mechanical typewriter and then to the computer, there was another keyboard that came into the market called the Borac keyboard, and it was actually much faster for typewriters than this one. It was about 10% faster, but it didn't make it. Okay, it was better. Actually, you know, objectively better. But the truth is that people were not going to change the way they typed just because of a 10% improvement. And that's one of the first rules for innovation and creativity. Whatever you do, it has to be, as a rule of thumb, 10x better, 10 times better in some specific characteristic as the invention before. So that was one example. And the other very typical is Betamax versus VHS. Do you remember Betamax? The video cassettes? Well, if you don't remember it, well, that's part of the thing here. Betamax was small as a tape, had a better quality, and it was created by Sony. Okay, so you know, it's not like I invented it, and it was Sony. Okay, VHS just beat the XX out of it because for many different reasons. There was a marketing decision by Sony which was not very well taken by the market. And another thing is that they didn't think, Betamax didn't realize that people wanted to record for a long time. They wanted to just press the record button and then go to the movies or go to dinner, and then they come back and see what they missed on TV. And this Betamax has just a 2-hour length at most. So that was some of the problems. Even though in the rest of the things, it was definitely much better than VHS. Innovation is always good. This is atomic bomb. Great innovation. Okay, that's another myth. Okay, and we can find automobiles, cell phones, nuclear energy. There are innovations that can be good or bad depending on the use they have. And actually, innovators might not know in advance whether what they're thinking of is good or bad. But that's another myth that you have to take into account. And that's again. Going back to the initial idea, when you are the lonely genius, you may have some blind spots, and you don't know what's going to happen. You better get closer to a team that helps you realize whether what you're doing is going to be good or bad. And there's some, I won't go into detail, but there's some, there are many different ideas, like the Coke example, when they had the new Coke, and then they had to change it because nobody liked the new Coke, and then the old Coke became the Coke Classic. Something weird here. Or this nice water for cats, okay, which was a very great idea. Or these cigarettes with no smoke, which I didn't make it, okay. There's some nice stories about some of these examples. A1, people like new ideas. iPhone comes, people love iPhone. The Wii, the Nintendo DS, whatever. People love new ideas. I don't think so. Okay. Basically, this is a story of a salesman that tried to sell phones. Phones. He was arrested for trying to extort funds from ignorant and superstitious people by trying to sell something that enabled remote communication. What was this? I mean, new idea. I don't buy it. Okay. For example, this one was Apple Newton. That was basically one of the first PDAs in the market. It didn't make it. It was a complete crash. After 2 years later, Palm came and broke the market. This just had a huge success with the Palm Pilot. Okay, there are many different reasons for this. I mean, but for example, in this case, it was ahead of the market. People were not ready to buy a PDA at that specific time, and it had way too many things that people didn't understand. So Everett Rogers and Geoffrey Moore thought a lot about this. Everett Rogers about 34 years ago, and Geoffrey Moore like 10, 12 years ago, about the diffusion of innovations and the way that people understands how products are adopted. And they tell us basically that we need to take into account where the product adoption life cycle is when we're thinking of a new creativity. And when I talk about product, talk about a novel. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's any single thing that has some kind of innovation in it. So at the beginning, you cannot expect to sell everyone, because only the innovators are going to try it. Okay, I'm going to try your product, I'm going to sell, I'm going to read your novel, whatever. You want to get to an early majority if you want to get famous, rich, you know, whatever you want to get with your work. Okay.